How do you do? My name is Lon Safko, and I'm the president of Safko International here in Richland, Washington. We're here to demonstrate a computer system called SenSei, the enabling computer. We're located at 2000 Logston Boulevard, Richland, Washington, 99352, or we can be called at a telephone number of 509-375-3268. The SenSei computer system, it was designed specifically for the disabled, to enable the disabled. Some of its attributes are: it improves the quality of life of the physically disabled. It promotes innovative solutions to independent living, provides easy access to your environment, reduces the need for nursing and professional staff from performing such tasks as adjusting a patient's bed, controlling the television, assisting with or placing or answering telephone calls, training and educational needs, recreation and intellectual stimulation, and a dramatic increase in physical and psychological recovery, and also allows the user the opportunity for employment. One of the devices that we'll be using here today is called the head mouse. It's placed over the head like this, with a small tube in front of your face. The head mouse controls the cursor, or controls the computer, by moving your head from side to side or up and down. The cursor on the monitor of the computer will move accordingly. Also, this tube here allows the computer to be used as a return key, or a mouse key if you would. Let us take a look at the Macintosh computer. After this demonstration, you will truly see that SenSei is an enabling computer. Welcome to SenSei, the enabling computer. Welcome home. What you're looking at here is something that we call the home screen. SenSei was designed for people who haven't used computers, and it's also excellent for people who have. The home screen displays all the different types of software or applications or things a computer can be used for, and it's also done with graphics so that it aids the person with cognitive disability or also no reading skills at all. Some of the most important part of the SenSei is the ECU, or environmental control system. As I move my head, you'll see this cursor moving up and down and left and right. There's a little picture of a hand. In order to run one of the pieces of software, all we need to do is to place the hand on the software that we desire, such as the environmental control package, and by simply puffing on the tube, environmental, the computer will then load the appropriate software into the system, and environmental control is simply a puff away. What you're looking at right now is a sample living room for the patient. This is programmed in as a starting point. The patient or the user can then rearrange the furniture or actually draw his own room if he desires. To turn on a lamp, we simply move our head until we get our little arrow on top of the lamp that we wish to turn on. We puff on the tube or click on the mouse button. Simply come over to the on button, click on that, and then the lamp is on. If we wish to turn it off, we simply hit the off button and the light is off. And it's truly just that simple. If we require some music, all we need to do is come over to our stereo here, simply select it by clicking on it, We then go to the on button again. And that's how the music is controlled. This particular system here will control up to 255 different appliances, lamps, ceiling fixtures, or anything that's run by electricity. To reprogram it or to add a new module, we simply go up underneath the edit. We tell the computer that we would like a new module. We can then select the picture that's most appropriate, or we could actually design our own. I tell the computer OK. At this point we set a unique module code, and you'll see more information on that later. We say OK. We continuously puff in on the tube or hold down on the mouse button, drag it to any desired location in the room, let it go, and now the computer knows that there's a television set, and it will find it. I'm going to keep this demonstration brief, so we'll continue on. To quit a program, simply go up underneath the file, the Word file, click on the word quit, save changes. For the demonstration purposes, we'll say no. And one of the unique things about the SenSei software is that once you're completed with a particular application or type of software, welcome home. The computer welcomes you home to a familiar and friendly screen. One of the other most important uses of a computer is word processing. In order to allow the physically disabled to do word processing, we simply take the hand, place it on the picture of the typewriter, called writing, puff or click down on this particular picture. Writing. The computer acknowledges that that software is going to be used. And there's our word processor. Now, one of the attributes of SenSei is the ability for a quadriplegic or paraplegic or someone without the use of their arms to be able to type. To do this, we simply go to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. We make our work area a little bit smaller. We then move our head so that on top of the apple in the menu bar, slide down to something called Screen Board and select it by puffing on it. Here's a commercial for University of Utah and Sappho International. We say, I read the notice. And there's a picture of our keyboard. Now, in order to begin typing, we must click or select the word processing window again. We clicked on it. Now we can come down here and begin to type. I'll hit the Shift key, and the word sensei, coming from a Japanese title meaning dignity, or master teacher, what we'll do is we'll type in master teacher. And then we'll increase our work area again. And as you can see, you can get very proficient with this keyboard. Don't let the size fool you. Once you get used to it, you can type very quickly. Now I'll select this. I'll change it to something that looks a little fancier. I'll then make it a little bit larger. And then we'll try bold. And we'll go to outline. And we'll even center it. Now, keeping in mind this can all be done by the physically disabled. One of the other opportunities that we have at this point, especially using the Macintosh system, is the ability to paste graphics in with our text. Here's a series of graphics that we have programmed into our computer for development. I simply say copy. I can then close it. And then just by telling the computer to please paste that graphics in, the graphics appears. Again, to save time, we'll continue on. The brochure that accompanies this videotape was also done using this particular system. Desktop publishing, newsletters, any type of business applications. To show you some of the graphics capabilities,
Drafting.
we'll select the drafting program. And here's a sample house plan that we programmed in, just to show you some of the capabilities. If I'd like to see the floor plan, I can then remove the roof, and then the floor plan shows. If I'd like to see the footing plan beneath, I can simply move it once again to see the footing plan. If I wish, I could come in and change any of these rooms, change a wall layout, change a location of a particular room. I'm going to quit this program. The computer continuously asks if I'm quitting a program whether or not you would like to save the changes. This is an automatic update feature.
Welcome home.
Just as a matter of note, if you look at this picture on the left side of the room, it's called tutorial. If I was to select that picture, it would take us through an elementary tutorial of each of the software programs that you see demonstrated here today. So the computer is very easy to use, and it's also self-teaching. Let me now select communications, as this also is one of the more important features of the SenSei system.
Communication.
Communications allows us to do several things. This particular picture over here allows us to check area codes and time zones for telephone purposes. This particular one
Directory.
is called a directory. It allows its user to keep a complete directory of all of the people that it wishes to call. In particular, this is my home address. Here are some other names. Here, for example, is my office address. Now, these names and addresses can be typed in by the user by using this keyboard below the Rolodex card. If you notice, the background of the screen is in the shape of a Rolodex. All of our software was designed to be very easy to recognize, and the user would feel very comfortable using this. All your controls are over here, and you have the ability to sort through as many of these cards as you wish. If you look down the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a little square, or what's called a button, that has a picture of a home on it. If you click on this, it always takes you to the last home menu. So it's nearly impossible to get lost or to do anything wrong in this particular software. The telecommunications, say for example,
Telecommunications.
allows the user to use the telephone. If you look on the left side of the screen, you'll see a keyboard that looks similar to that that you would find on a telephone. For example, let us dial through our switchboard here at the office and find out what time it is. Now, by clicking on these buttons, it will enter the telephone number desired in this window. Now, simply by clicking on the word dial speaker,
Good afternoon. The time is 1:05 and 5 seconds. Pacific Daylight Time. Good afternoon. The time is...
and also by clicking on this little hang up button, it allows you to hang up the telephone. Now, keep in mind the physically disabled can use this software just as easy. Also, there's a button here for dial modem. This allows data transfer or data communications between computers. This is one of the other features built into SenSei. As we mentioned earlier, in the beginning of the demonstration, this system was designed to allow the user the opportunity to enter the workforce or for employment. So data communications via modem is very important. I'll hit the home button, which will take us back to the communication home menu. If I was to hit the home button once again, that will take us
Welcome home.
back to home. Very simple to use. One other feature of the SenSei system, which is very important, is media control. To be able to control a television set or a satellite or cable, VCR, video disc, is very, very important. To be able to change a channel or volume up and down, or simply to turn the television set on is important. That's part of the environmental software. And the button is called Media. Here's a picture of a sample media area or entertainment cabinet. Now by selecting any one of these objects here, cable, VCR, compact disc, satellite, stereo, video disc, or even television set, we simply put our hand on the television and we click on it. And there is the SenSei television control. As you look in the upper right hand corner, you'll see the channel. If I wanted, say, channel 12, I would click on 1, 2 for channel 12. Channel 12 would then be entered into the media control, and by hitting this enter button, the computer then would turn the channel to channel 12. If you'd like to move up and down the channels, you can simply hit the buttons and do so. Also, volume control and power on and off is available. The home button once again returns us to our home screen.
Welcome home.
Up in the upper left and right hand corner, and I'll show you just a quick sample of some of the options that we have here, are educational and special educational software. If you look, each of the titles of the books have a different name on it that represents the type of software that's available. I'm going to hit the home key at this point and show you some of the special education software,
Welcome home.
which operates
Special.
the same way. For example, sign language. If I was to take my hand and place it on sign language,
Sign language.
this is to teach the user how to use sign language. By typing in anything, such as SenSei, as you can see, the computer shows you the hand sign, says the letter, and also shows the letter on the screen. This is just one example of some of the special education software that we have in here for cognitive rehabilitation and just general special education. Once again, if we hit the home key, it will return us back to the special menu. One of the other types of software that we've written, which we're quite excited about, is called Voice.
Voice.
Welcome to Hypermagnetron.
What you just heard is an introduction of the computer, which was generated by the computer itself. That's called synthesized speech. The type of speech that we use most is digitized speech, which is actually recorded in for highest quality. This particular system was designed for a girl who was on a respirator and had no ability to speak herself. So by moving her head and hitting a series of buttons, basically noun and verb, she had the ability to communicate with the outside world through the use of the computer, such as
Turn on the light.
or
Turn on the radio.
or even and also.
I love you.
Now this type of software could be designed or actually recorded by a family member or someone that the patient feels comfortable with. And by creating a series of these buttons, almost any communication can then be developed.
I hope you enjoy using Hypermagnetron.
And this is just a sample of some of the special education. One other thing that I would like to show you is the bed controller, which is also very important, and that is also an environmental task.
Environmental.
By clicking on the word bed, it takes us to the appropriate software that allows us to control the bed. By clicking on the up and down arrow keys for each of the three movements of the bed,
Raise head. Lower head. Lower knee. Raise height.
it's just that simple. By selecting either head, knee, or height, we can click on a button that either raises or lowers it, and then the computer will raise and lower that particular part of the bed appropriately. What we feel is that this will have a dramatic reduction in nursing and professional assistance when the patient or the user can actually control his own environment, including the bed. The home button, once again, will take us back to our home position.
Welcome home.
One other thing I would like to show you is instant.
Instant environmental.
Now this can either be controlled through a button or you'll find it underneath the apple in the menu. And what this does is it allows us to make instant controls of our environment. For example, if we're using the word processor or if we're doing some graphics and the telephone rings, we have the ability to instantly turn on the phone and begin speaking. The system does come with a custom SenSei speakerphone which allows the user to speak. Also, if we wish to lock or unlock the doors or any type of immediate environmental control, it is available under Instant SenSei. And last but not least, let me just take a moment to show you what good is a computer if you can't blast a Martian. So we've included quite a bit of recreation software. What we found is not only is it entertaining, but it also provides quite a bit of psychological and mental stimulation.
Recreation.
And as you also see, our programmer does have a bit of a sense of humor. This is, if it's video games that we're looking for, then why not make it look like a video arcade? If we wish to select from different games, Game Caller 2. Now we can enter any one of these particular pieces of software just by clicking on the screen. Solitaire, for example.
Solitaire.
By clicking on the screen itself, the computer knows what software you'd like loaded, and then you can play that game. Here is Computer Solitaire. If we wish, we can simply quit. And the computer will then again take us back to the home screen. Here we are at Game Caller 2. If I hit the home button,
Welcome home.
it welcomes us back to the home screen. The last part of this screen that we're looking at right here is something called Quit, and that's a quit button that's necessary to use whenever shutting down the SenSei system. It's a safe way of turning it off.
Quit.
Back home, folks.
And then the SenSei system turns itself off and resets itself for the next time you wish to use it. The computer will turn itself on and off at predetermined times if you wish. The head mouse that we were using for demonstrating purposes is just one type of input device. There are several different types, actually many different types of input devices based on the type of physical disability. The mouse here can be used by the people with mild disabilities, and there's roller balls, joysticks, tongue switches, there's all types of input devices. What I suggest is that if you have a particular disability that you think we have the opportunity to bridge for you, please contact us and then we can recommend the right type of input device. After seeing the demonstration of SenSei, you truly have to understand that it is an enabling computer. For further information, please contact us. Again, our address is 2000 Logston Boulevard, Richland, Washington, 99352, and the telephone number is 509-375-3268. Thank you very much for your time.